Welcome back, everybody, to the Cake Eaters Avalanche podcast. We are here on a little break day talking about some Avs recent news. There was a lot of it over the weekend, even during the days that they played games, but we didn't really want to touch on it quite yet. Wanted to save it for its own podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of stuff
I'm
happening
seeing
in
if
Avalanche
my
land.
Wi-Fi is being trash.
A lot of stuff happening in
Continue.
Avalanche
Sorry.
land. A lot of stuff happening
Yeah.
in Avalanche land recently. It's mostly bad. So, yeah. Ever since they beat Columbus twice, it's mostly bad stuff.
Yeah, the hockey gods just really did not want that. They
Mm-hmm.
just wanted maybe they thought the Avs were too mean. They bullied them too much.
Yeah. So
It was a before we start off, I got a smart water here. If you listen to our water talk the other day, you'll know. So if I have exceptionally good takes today, this is why. Yeah, Blake is feeding his crack addiction.
little raspberry latte. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Peter McNab.
Yeah, that God, I'm not good at talking about death, period. But I don't know. This one just was really sad because just on Friday we were saying, or Saturday we were like, all right, well, we'll probably see Peter next Thursday. Um, Literally zero idea that anything else was going on with him, and then we get the news Sunday morning.
Yeah. It was tough. I think we probably should have taken more of a hint that he wasn't even in studio, because for the Islanders game he was, and that's the last we saw of him.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't know. I don't know really, like, you know, there were times where he just like doesn't do it, and I was just kind of like, whatever, man. He's been doing this for 27 years. Kind of just wanted to take a break. Maybe the in
Yeah,
studio just wasn't for him, but no.
yeah. And in hindsight too, like, he didn't look the most healthy in those games. Um,
I guess I didn't
so
notice that, but.
yeah, I tweeted, I sent a tweet out. I didn't know Peter McNab personally. Never really never really, like, you know had any ins. I've never really had any ins to the Avs organization, so didn't really ever know him. Um, but what I can say is that when I was writing an essay to get into middle school, did not go to a public middle school. When I was writing an essay to get into middle school, um, the question I had to write like a few. One of the questions was, who would you want to meet and talk to, and why? And my little 11-year-old brain said Peter McNab. And in my, like, quote unquote interview with, like, admissions or whatever, the lady was like, "Who the hell is Peter McNab?" And I just kind of started talking. I was like, "He's the Avs color commentator, and I love the way he announces the game, everything about it. Um, you know, I thought it was cool that he, like, fought a fan. I don't know why I thought it was cool at the time. He'd probably be in jail if he did that nowadays. But
Oh,
um,
right. Yeah.
that was my answer. That was my answer. Like, I probably have the essay somewhere. Um, and yeah, I think just being someone who's, like, obviously I'm a huge fan of the Avs, but I don't have any ins to the organization at all. Never have. Probably never will. Um, Being someone so far away from the organization and like hockey itself, the NHL, like to have someone make that big of an impact on you in a positive way is extremely rare. So I just
Yeah,
think
and
it was just a special thing. So
yeah, that's what, I don't know. To me, what made Peter such a special guy was kind of like that was similar. But you see, it's not even just the Avs community. You know, the entire hockey community. You know, he obviously he wouldn't, but he was quite the player in his day in the NHL. Racked
yeah,
up hundreds of points,
30
hundreds of
goal year after
goals.
30 goal year. Yeah,
Yeah, he was just a really good NHL player. And I don't know, the fact that he cared so deeply about this game, and he didn't just care, you know, given how old he was and the era he grew up in, he didn't just care. He wasn't like most of those people
hmm
from that era. He didn't just care about, you know, oh, dude's getting to play hockey, you know. He cares about everybody playing hockey. He truly
exactly.
exemplified hockey is for everyone. Like,
hmm
you know, you see him on the ice after the Avs won the Stanley Cup, and he's wearing his suit with his little pride button on. How
Yeah,
many guys in the hockey community do you know would do that? You know, he was a special guy, and you know every Avs fan who's watched an Avs game got to enjoy Peter McNab. It's just a shame
yeah,
they didn't get to enjoy it one more time.
yeah, yeah. Um, Something I keep thinking about is when he initially got word that he had cancer. Um, I think most people would probably like quit. You know, like if I was in
Right.
that position, I would stop everything I was doing. I would get better, and I'd probably, at that age, retire, just focus on my health, my family. But that's how, I guess that's just how much hockey meant to him. So
Yeah.
I just think it
Right.
was so cool that he like came back and, you know, some nights he didn't look too good, but he battled through it. He got to call game 6 of the Stanley Cup final, the winning game.
Yep.
It's over,
With
pal.
okay, he
Yeah,
it's over, pal.
it's over, pal. So just just like the coolest dude, even just from super far away. Just the coolest dude, and
Right.
it sucks. Um, it's like childhood idol just gone. So
Yeah. It feels like it's someone like in your family. Like we see this guy and we hear this guy 80-ish times a year,
yeah,
eh, give or take. I don't know. It's not the same as most deaths of celebrities and
yeah,
icons and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, but Peter was yeah, yeah. I hope the ads do something for him. I know there's talk of raising a banner. I think that would be good.
I would
Obviously,
just,
they raised one
yeah, I would
for
retire.
Pierre Lacroix.
I would, I would raise one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do anything else like a patch or something, but
He belongs up there. Yeah, absolutely, he belongs up there.
yeah, he's the only person to be with the Avs every year of their existence.
hmm When he was
So
on his third play-by-play announcer, as the color commentator. First it was John Kelly, then Mike Haynes, now Mark Mosier, and
John Kelly, who I had no
it
idea.
just got better every time, man. It just
I
got better every
feel
time, man.
someone that I feel really bad for is Mosier. I know him and McNab are really close.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And thinking back, yeah, that must have been really tough for Mosier to go to Finland knowing he probably knew already that something was going on. So,
right.
yeah, it just sucks, but also like wherever he is now, he's dude, he's on the ice. That's for sure.
He's happy. Yeah.
He's on the ice with his abs with his abs pride button on his little suit. Yeah.
His flow going in the wind.
Flow in the wind.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna transition a little bit so we both don't cry. You might have a fun start to Thursday though. Thursday's game.
Dude. I mean, whatever they do for him, I'm just I'm excited in a way because he deserves it, you know. So
Right. One thing I wish they had given him a ring. Well, while he was
I'm sure he got a ring.
alive. I know, but there was the one broadcast where they were joking about it, like about stealing it. I don't know. Maybe it was just jokes, but
I'm sure he got a ring, man.
I hope so. Well, we're not going to transition to better news, but
No, another difficult conversation right here.
well, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult in a sense, not for me, but Mitchel
No,
Miller, that whole thing.
just like
Yeah,
disturbing.
no, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah.
The Bruins. So the Bruins signed Mitchel Miller, the guy that the Coyotes renounced because he was an asshole, to put it lightly.
Racist bully. Yeah.
Yeah, to a special needs kid, and yeah, their players, you know, in the forefront of many people, were not very happy with this signing.
No.
Which
props to them, man. I think without them speaking up, I think that his contract wouldn't have been terminated. Now, they're gonna have to go through NHLPA, everything like that. Like,
yeah,
it's probably gonna be a
do
mess.
want to touch on this really quick. I understand the NHLPA is, we're supposed to look out for the players. You need to pick your battles a little bit.
Yeah,
they did this with the Vander Kane. They do it now. Guess what? Some of your players are dicks.
Yeah.
Is that who you want to be representing the NHLPA?
I know, dude. They're legally obligated to. Yeah. They are legally obligated to, which sucks. Like,
lawyers.
Yeah. It's going to be a whole mess.
Sucks.
It's going to be a whole mess. But the point is that the Bruins made an awful choice. And then when they
not only does it, like, I don't know.
Like, continue, they were lazy with their research, right? Which is my big thing. Like, it's one of two things for me. It's they didn't do their research, and when they found this new info that came out, I guess is what Sweeney called it, new info. They backed out of it, but I'm sure they knew all of this and just hoped that it would blow over. And when they realized it wasn't
Something like
blowing
that.
over, and then now their players were mad, they just released him to save face, which I think is the more likely of the two, just knowing how the NHL functions. So
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. That's kind of like, look, Boston, they're a good team, and I don't know how good Cam Neely is actually as a manager. He's some questionable choices from a hockey perspective, but their front office has always been kind of the leading boys club of the league, and this is just kind of another
yeah.
little bit of a representation of how
Hmm.
bad that is. I don't like. Just I'm like, why sign this guy? He was a fourth round pick. Like, it's
I
not
don't
like
know,
he's
man.
some like like I don't want to sound like I'm defending the Canadians for picking that one kid, but like there was like actual like reasonable talent there. Like,
He's a good Logan Meyer's a pretty good prospect. Yeah,
yeah, this kid just
this
isn't.
kid's not. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just not worth bringing that kind of like crap into your organization and that kind of like.
dude.
I mean,
It's just
you
such a stupid
have to think so.
decision.
A PR standpoint would be like, why? Like, why
Yeah.
would you think this is a smart idea? Like, anyone in
But
that front
the
office would be like,
thing about this too is that NHL teams just keep thinking it's okay to employ awful people. And that's what creates a culture problem in hockey. Like I've been
right,
around I've been around bad cultures before in youth hockey. It's no fun for anyone.
right, yeah,
This is I mean, we've seen it over and over again. This is everywhere in the NHL. And
yep.
there's probably so much more of it going on and we don't even know about it. So it's just this is what create this is what pushes people away from the game. This type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it is encouraging, like we said, that the Bruins players did take a stand on it.
Yes. When you have a good
That
group,
is
playing hockey is so much fun. Like it's it's just the best. When you have a good group and you have a good culture, everything about it is amazing. But when toxicity slips into your culture, which good on the players for the Bruins not letting it, but when it does,
right,
it can be miserable to play.
right.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, that's all I'll say about it. It's the fact that the Bruins made this signing just makes me think that there are players everywhere in the league that have terrible backgrounds like Mitchel Miller that are already employed by the NHL, so nothing can really happen. And the NHL, as we know, covers everything up. So it's just
Mm, and I mean, I can understand where you're coming from, but I don't know if there's many other players like this. Like, there could be players like, I don't know. Everybody says the NHL covers things up, but we hear a lot of things about a lot of players. I don't know. I feel like,
I'm done defending them, man. Like we just hear more of this
no, I
bullshit.
don't. I'm not
Like
defending them. I'm just saying I don't think it's like I people can get into a bit, and I can understand why, but I think people get into a mindset where it's like, well, there's probably so many more that like we don't know about it. It's like, probably not. Like, look, I understand hockey has a bad culture, but it takes a lot of, and hockey culture isn't, where it should be, but it is progressing. Like, I just don't, I don't know. It's
I agree with that,
it's a
but
difficult conversation.
at the roots of hockey culture, the root of hockey culture has not changed, which is what pushes
No,
people
yeah,
away
for
from the
sure.
game. So I
No,
just think
definitely.
it was just a stupid thing from the start. Like, what the hell, Boston?
Yeah,
So
it was just dumb, and then I don't know. It was like just the way Cam Neely acted about it was just so stupid and
yeah,
spineless. It was just like,
both Neely and Sweeney, both of them, just
yeah, not great.
so weird, man.
This has been an organization that hasn't really been known positively for that kind of stuff.
Right.
Fortunately, they have their player core is strong, and um, they stand up what's right. But we can transition into some Avs talk here. Make things maybe still not
Yeah.
very not
Still bleak,
much
man.
brighter, but
There's just not a lot of positive stuff today, man. It sucks,
yeah, not
but
really.
that's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
Well, this is how it always is around November, December for the Avs.
True. Yeah.
Those early season injury, they pile up. But yeah, so Nichushkin, Byram, and Gerard all go on to the injury list. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Nichushkin is going to miss about a month because he had surgery on his ankle that was previously described as day-to-day, but whatever. Byram is out week to week with a lower injury. The encouraging part about that is that we touched on this before, that it is nothing with his
Not
head.
a concussion.
That's the big thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Girard is day-to-day with a lower body injury. We don't know with Sammy. We don't really know. Like, he could. It's probably not likely, but he could play against Nashville.
We'll get into what happens if he can't play against Nashville, because it's going to be tough. Let me just pull up Cap Friendly right now. So
yeah, I saw something
if Sam Girard
can't call up.
If Sam Girard can't go on Thursday, the Avs have to call up someone else, and they'd be over the salary cap, I believe. So that's not good. They don't want to put Landeskog on LTIR, because then you don't accrue cap for the deadline. So
right, and you can't, and you have to put him on, and he has to be there for like 20 days or something like that.
Yeah.
So they would really like to not do that. Fortunately, with Girard out, do you necessarily have to call up a guy? Like, let's.
I mean, you don't want to pull a Vegas, do you?
Magic Fantasy
11-6. You'd be 11.
No,
you wouldn't have a
so
full roster.
My thinking is, so you have obviously your first line, and then you have Newhook,
Erod,
Rodriguez is your second line.
I guess, yeah. Maybe put Newhook on the wing between Erod and Kaut.
Sure. And then you have Cogliano, Comfer. That's the other positive, is that Cogliano is not injured.
Yes, and LOC.
So that's good.
Comfer. So that's fine. Yeah. And then you have
Hunt. Can they not call it Maltsev?
I think they have enough room to call up Maltsev. I was just looking. I think they'd be like right at it.
Like, I don't know how they would. That wouldn't really make mathematical sense, because he was just on the team. They didn't add anybody else.
Right. So then your defense is Taves McCarr, and then it's
Manson and EJ.
J-Con. I would put J-Con with Manson.
I don't really care how the lines shake out. I'm just naming, who you have there. And then
you have McDermott and EJ. Yeah. So
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, man. Mm-mm. Got your two rovers together. I wouldn't even call McDermott a rover. I'd just call him awful. So you've got those are your players.
Yeah,
Like
so
Hunt
my thinking
Maltz,
is maybe Darren Helm.
Helmet.
Whatever the
No,
fuck's
he's
going on with Darren Helm.
so okay. Is Darren Helm's career over, man? Like at this point, I'm
Maybe.
thinking like, is he just done, man? Like, it's a
There's no way.
possibility.
He's not that old. He's not that old.
35.
We think he's old, but he hasn't even hit 1,000 games yet.
I
He
mean,
is
he's 35 years old.
35. I don't know. I just don't. I guess that's the same age as EJ, but he doesn't have the injury problem that EJ had.
So they have 10 forwards on the team right now.
36. I don't know. I just
no,
don't
okay,
really see. I
yeah.
think he'll. I don't know. I mean, Helm went to Finland. I don't know. It's his career's not done.
Right.
I feel fairly confident
maybe.
in saying that.
Maybe, dude. I don't know.
So
So
he
I
could
would
come back.
I think they're gonna probably put Nichushkin on IR.
Right.
Not LTIR, just IR. Obviously. And then you've got 10 forwards basically up on your team. What do you do? 11, including Maltsev. Like,
Right.
first of all, who do you call up? And then, like, if there's enough space, which I don't think there's gonna be. They have $1.7 million.
No, that could work.
They have to call up Maltsev. So
Here, let me look at Cap Friendly.
I'm just confused. Like, I don't think they're gonna have enough.
Apparently, Cap Friendly killed my computer.
So I'm on Cap Friendly right now. It says the Avs. So the Avs haven't made the transactions yet. So Nichushkin is still on the roster. Bleau is still on the roster. So we'll see what they do. You've got to call up Kaut and Maltsev, and I think that would put them at like the brink, because Cap Friendly doesn't even have Kaut in the NHL right now.
Yeah, it does not.
So those two guys would put you right at the edge, and then you've got 11 and 6. There's no space for a 12th forward.
We'll see.
So it's a bit of a pickle. I bet you Sam Girard just ends up playing through whatever he's got, and it's not a problem. But
yeah, I don't know. You might be able to muster it, or maybe you just go one game against Nashville with 11 and 6, or
yeah.
Honestly, I would even go 12 and 5.
I don't know if they do that, but
They wouldn't, but I would.
Yeah,
I'll give Jacob McDonald 10 minutes.
I would give Jacob McDonald. I would give Jacob McDonald 14 to 15 on your back end.
Yeah.
And then McDermott, clearly Bednar does not want to play him as a defenseman ever. So hell, even a forward, because he knows that it's just
as a forward,
it's just a liability, man. So
I wonder how good Frankie is. Could he play defense?
Can Frankie play? Yeah.
He played. He scored a goalie goal. He scored a goalie goal once. right?
He did, yeah. I think he tried one in the NHL too against Columbus.
Yeah, I think he got one in the AHL. I'm pretty sure.
I think he did. He tried it in the NHL against Columbus. I was at that game,
Right against a
and
lot of teams.
it's funny. Um,
No, I
but
probably
yeah,
should.
so it's just kind of a predicament with all these injuries, and now obviously
Shit.
like your number three
I haven't
defenseman,
played
your third best forward, your
him
third best
before.
defenseman, your fourth best defenseman, and honestly like your fourth best forward are all gone. No Landeskog, no Nichushkin,
April.
no Bo, no Gerard. If Gerard misses, so it's just tough right now. So
Yeah.
they're probably just gonna have to survive a little bit here, to be honest with you.
Yeah. We will. There. If I can say one thing that makes me less worried about this is that you have guys who are starting to pick up their production. Comfort finally scored a goal. Newhook seems to have found his confidence. And then Kale and Devon have started scoring goals.
Yeah,
And I mean, I think the big worry is just that they're playing 8 of their 10 games are against teams that made the playoffs last year
right.
this month.
It's just a lot of good teams. So um,
Yeah, you're
they
gonna need your
have
stars and your goalies to do some work here.
and Nashville's been off to not a great start. So,
Right.
but
And
like you're just coming back from
that's
Finland.
encouraging because they played them twice.
But like you're just coming back from Finland. It's the first game back at home. Nashville's been in a rhythm here. They're playing every other night. Like it just seems to me like this is just the most obvious trap game with all the injuries. Like
It's a trap game if a team is like technically good.
Nashville's not very good, man.
They're that's why I said technically. I think they're better than how they've played so far. I think they're still a good team. It just depends on how good. But
I don't know, man. They just like reek of like an 85 point team. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Relying on a 32-year-old defenseman to
I
score
don't know.
100 points is not the strat, man. So
Well, that's very true.
so it just feels like the Avs are set up for like coming back from Finland. They did some guys skated
Oh
today.
yeah. I don't
Skate
feel good
tomorrow.
about Thursday's game.
They'll skate tomorrow. Then you've got Thursday. It's just not a ton of time between games in Finland and games here. 4 days off just seems icky to me. Like I feel like it should be 6 or 7.
Yeah, if only the NHL could have like taken some of those off they had earlier and just transferred them here.
I know.
It would have been great.
So that feels
But
bad.
that's relying on competency from the NHL scheduling
Hmm.
people. And I know that might be
Right.
one of the stupidest things any person could do.
It is stupid. And then you've got Carolina on Saturday, which with all these guys missing, man, it's a tough ask to win that game. Carolina's really good.
It is, but I mean, it's possible. Carolina lost to the Leafs on
Yeah.
Sunday
Well, I
after
mean,
they.
the Avs best players are better than Carolina's best players, but the Avs don't have much depth right now. So we'll see how
Right,
that
and
goes.
that's the big problem. It's that the Abs depth is just gonna have to survive, and their stars are gonna have to
Right. Stars are gonna
outplay
have
the
to
other
be
stars.
stars. That's just how it's gonna have to be here. I
Oh,
like
Edmonton and
that's
Tampa
why
tonight. That'll be fun.
that's why I say that's why I keep saying like you're gonna have to win 3-1, you know, 2-0, 2-1, 3-2 here because
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
depth
We get
your
it.
depth is just not great. You can't consistently rely on the bottom nine at this point to do much of anything. Like, yay, they figured it out against Columbus. Hopefully they continue to figure it out. And your top guys, can you realistically rely on your big guns to score more than 2 goals per game for you.
I mean, this with this top line, I don't think you can rely on it, but you can, you're not going to be surprised.
You're going to get some nights where they pop off, but you're also going to get a night or two here and there where they don't score. So
Yep,
it's
and
just
that's
tough.
yeah.
So it just
Nashville, Carolina, St. Louis.
And then you got St. Louis Monday, which is like you should win that game, man. St. Louis is going to play them tough, obviously. St. Louis,
I don't.
Their whole system is based on not fucking up. So, not making bad choices.
I don't. I have zero idea of what to expect from either of these 3 games.
Dude, same. It's so weird where they're at right now.
It's just
where
it's like this is how these injuries always go.
Right. Where as a fan, you have to just be like, well, I'm just happy to be watching the Avs. Like that's just kind of the mindset you have to have.
Unfortunately, it really sucks because they're playing a lot of good teams in this stretch.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, you'd want, at least from a viewing perspective, you want your stars to play just for the sake of good hockey. But,
yeah. I am also a little worried too about ice time, man. Like
you don't want to run guys into the ground.
Like Cale Makar and Devon Toews, they're probably gonna have to play 27 each.
Not many of these games are. Not very many of these games are going to be like that second of the Global Series where everybody got like in the tens of minutes.
Exactly. Right. So I like Makar and Toews are probably, if you have no Girard, they're probably gonna have to play like 27 minutes each, right? And then the top line right now with how the depth looks for the next month, probably they might see 23 to 24 a game. Might just suck here for a little bit, having to play these guys so much. I hope they sit at 19 to 20, and I hope Makar and Toews are around 24, but that's not reasonable to expect from Bednar because that's just not how he.
Yeah, to me, that's, to be honest, lower on my list of concerns. But I know it's a concern. It's just, yeah. I don't know.
Well, we see what happens when
you got to do that sometimes.
It's true, but you see what happens when you do that too much. You run them into the ground.
But every time you've seen them do that, and it's been really noticeably bad, it's been on the second night of a back. They've done it on the first night of a back-to-back.
That's true.
And then
it's
been crap on the second night. And that's that's where maybe the Avs do benefit from this, is that they finally get over them, and maybe that's can help bring
that's
out
true.
The
They're playing every other day here. I mean, we saw it in Columbus, prime example. First game of that series, the Avs' best guys played, the Avs' best forwards played 18 minutes. Columbus has played 24. And then you get into game 2, Columbus looks exhausted, and the Avs look fresh. Easy clap, right?
If you told me that Johnny Gaudreau played in that second game, I would be like, you're a goddamn liar.
Right. He was a ghost, man.
But that's kind of how Johnny Gaudreau is every year against the Avs, so it doesn't really matter.
True. So
I don't know what it is. That guy just does not like playing good hockey anymore against the Avs. Since that first round series, he's just like, no, I'll take tonight off. Unless he gets a breakaway.
It's honestly just against the Avs.
What? Oh, that
Johnny
he sucked.
Gaudreau just doesn't show up against the Avs ever. Never has. So yeah. Let's take a look around the league here, man.
Yeah,
let's get out of Avs land.
We've done a lot of. We've done, we've touched on some teams before. One thing did we touch on the Coyotes' godly power play?
It's funny, man. Those guys, man.
Nuts. Unfortunately, they're so bad that they just don't draw a lot of penalties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been
But when
watching a
they
lot of
do,
Coyotes. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Coyotes, man. Those guys go balls to the wall every shift. They just aren't very good.
well, sometimes they do.
Yeah, well,
I've been watching a lot of Coyotes. Sometimes Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller's the one guy where it's like rubber ducky. But
He's
the
like,
all the
I
rest of the
don't want to be
guys,
touched.
right? He's like, remember Ronnie Hillman when he was the Broncos running back?
I do
He was
remember
like
Ronnie
really
Hillman.
fast. He was like really fast, but he was tiny and he never let him get hit. So I called him a
Yeah,
rubber
he never
ducky.
he
I
didn't
think
break
Clayton Keller's a
tackles.
rubber
Yeah,
ducky. Clayton Keller's a rubber ducky.
that's fair.
But power plays for it.
Rubber ducky of mine. Yeah, their power play is very good.
They're up on
This
Buffalo
this
right
is
now.
someone we haven't touched on yet. Pittsburgh kind of sucks now.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's bad. They're old and bad,
Yeah,
and that's that.
they're old. Their defensive core is crap.
Hmm. Boy, couldn't they
Uh,
really use a defensive presence like John Marino? Hmm.
yeah, that guy seems like a great fit in Pittsburgh. They
I
should try
know.
that guy out.
They should like trade Ty Smith for him. Oh wait.
I think that'd be a great trade.
Hmm. Whatever.
Yeah,
That was a masterclass right there.
apparently,
Dude,
great job, Ron.
they can't defend.
No, they can't. And Sidney Crosby can only score so many mediocre goals for the NHL to go crazy over.
Hey, he's cool, man. Sidney Crosby's
No,
cool.
I love Sidney Crosby, but every goal he scores, no matter what it is, the NHL's like, look at this. Look at how good this is. And I'm like,
Well,
okay.
it's because he's still doing it at his age. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty freaking impressive.
I mean,
Even though it might not be like the most sexy
yeah.
game, he's aged like fine wine. So it's cool stuff. Um, yeah, they're bad. They
I
can't
mean, they're not
defend,
even losing
and
to like,
that's exposing their mediocre goaltending.
yeah,
Because last year
Tristan
they
Jari.
defended well, and Jari was, propped up by it. Now they can't play defense, and Tristan Jari is showing
I
that he's just okay.
I have a question. Who do you better,
Yeah,
Tristan Jari or Jacob Markstrom?
I think Jacob Markstrom's better, but I don't think it's by a ton.
Okay, I yeah. Someone was really adamant that Tristan Jari is miles better than Jacob Markstrom before the season.
Yeah.
They have a milkshake factory, and they have a thing called Jake Shake. That looks delicious. I want that.
So looking at Pittsburgh right now,
There's a little
they
chocolate 59. Blake, go get me that.
what?
Jake Shake.
I'm getting into Pittsburgh's fancies. Okay, give me a minute. So Pittsburgh,
Okay, and then go get me a Jake Shake.
so Pittsburgh defense league average. Their saving has been a little subpar, just okay. 40 goals on 38 expected goals. Their finishing is low, and their offensive generation has been good, but their finishing is low. So that's kind of getting them. Seems like a
And I
little bit of the
think
PDO monster as well. Like they're getting a little
maybe,
unlucky.
but I don't know. In years past, this is kind of the thing is that for years, like I don't think Rust is a bad player, but him, Jeff Carter, they've all these old guys scoring
Mm-hmm.
2 goals for them, and then they also can't hold a lead to save their lives. By the way,
Right. I mean, it's just like it's just a soft defensive core, man. Like
yeah, who'd have
Brian
thought Jeff
Dumoulin isn't
Petrie
very
not
good
the answer?
anymore. Brian Dumoulin's not very good anymore. Pierre Oliver's Joseph is good with the puck, but he's softer than baby shit. And
Yeah,
Chris Letang's never been that guy. Jeff Petrie's never been that guy. Marcus Pedersen is their one solid defensive defenseman, and he can't carry the load himself, you know? Like,
Boy, my
I don't know.
Wi-Fi's being a real dick today.
So, yeah, Pittsburgh's
Doesn't make
bad.
sense.
Do you think they'll be this bad at the
Yeah,
end of
they're
the season?
as
Like, do you
bad as
think
my
that
Wi-Fi.
you think they're gonna pull out of it,
They're
or
4-6-2 right now. I would expect. I would not be surprised if there was a very similar record. Like if they continue a very similar pace. Personally,
fair?
I just wouldn't be surprised.
See, I think they'll be like a 90-point team. Like, I think they're good. Just
Yeah,
the make
I mean they
the structure
could,
of the roster is pretty good, and they drive the crap out of play. Like,
but I said this last year is that when you have a team with this many old guys,
true,
eventually they just start being not very good anymore.
true. That's completely correct. But like, I think they're better than 4-6-2.
And they can't do
But
much since they fucking gave Rickard Raquel a massive deal.
yeah, and Rickard Raquel is not very good. It's just weird decisions. Yeah. Let's go up north.
They do have Jan
Calgary,
Rutta on
man.
their team. Is he injured or something?
Stanley Cup champion Jan Rutta.
But that's the thing. Like Jan Rutta is like actually like a solid defenseman.
Let's go up north, man. Let's
All right.
Calgary. They
That's
aren't winning
the
games.
team of my franchise, of my Be It Broke character. So
who would have thunk it, man? They're just not winning games.
Yeah.
I
was a little sad because Nazem Kadri didn't sign there in my sim, and that was really disappointing to me. But yeah, no, they're not.
They hadn't won since October 25th
Devils
against Pittsburgh. Yeah.
They're playing the Devils again already? Why do they do this?
It was just a home and home. But
no, it wasn't because they went and then they played the Islanders first.
Oh yeah, that's true. Weird.
Which they lost.
It makes sense.
By the way.
Yeah, they lost to the Isles. They had a lead too, man. Like
Isles, sneaky Isles, 5-1.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know where the 1 came from. 8-5. Mm-hmm. They're 8-5.
But like, the Flames just haven't been winning games. Do you want to? Okay, here you go. You might already know this, but how many 5v5 points does Jonathan Huberdeau have? Take a guess.
Isn't it like 4 or 2 or like -3?
None of those are right.
3, regular 3.
He has 1.
Ooh.
1 5v5 point in what 11 games. He might have another one tonight because they're up 1-0, but
11 games. Well,
before tonight,
I will say they are out shooting the Devils 12-2 right now.
Yeah, well, so this is just par for the course for them. So no, Nazem Kadri scored on the power play. Good for him.
Hell yeah!
So they're 5-4-2, and they started what, like, on a tear, and then they kind of their blue line is really injured. Isn't that funny? How isn't that funny how injuries? Isn't that funny how injuries are a thing for Calgary this year?
Oh yeah. I mean, this has always happened. Okay, so can you look at the Jacob Markstrom? How good is he been?
His saving? Yeah. Let me look at Tristan Jarry first. So Tristan Jarry has given up 27 goals on 25 expected goals. Well, because you were like fighting with that dude about Jarry and Markstrom or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really care about it.
So Jarry's got -2 GSAX. And then Markstrom. See, Calgary's fancies are good, so I just can't, like, they're good.
Did they take another penalty? Or they
Markstrom's given up 25 goals on 25.4 expected goals. So he's got 0.4.
So he's been fine. I guess just the average highlights I see sometimes aren't very impressive, but whatever.
Yeah. He's given up a goal on the first shot of the game 44% of his starts this year.
Jesus
Can you believe that? That's like
Christ.
it's high, man. That's like some JoJo number, man. Like not Jacob Markstrom. That's like Jonas Johansson. Like
Why you take it out of pocket, man?
it's not out of pocket because it's my joke that JoJo either gives up the first one and saves all the rest, or saves the first one and gives up all the rest. So
It's a fair point.
Mhm.
But yeah, so they got a point against the Devils. They lost to Seattle, a game in which it was 5-2 at one point. No, 4-2 at one point. Lost to Edmonton.
Seattle's a wagon. Seattle's
I
a
think
wagon.
they were winning that game too.
They were.
They beat Pittsburgh, beat Carolina in overtime.
Well, this is when they were
Lost
good
to
still,
Buffalo.
and then they turned bad.
Right.
So
I mean, it was only like a few weeks ago, but yeah, whatever.
I know. So they're interesting. Let's talk about the Devils, and then.
Yep.
So I have a question.
We don't need to talk about the Devils. They're good. I'm tired of hearing about the Devils, man.
They're
I'm
so
so
fun.
tired of it. No.
JBITBPIT NHL.
People from New Jersey don't deserve good things. They don't deserve good things.
They deserve Jesper Bratt. Jesper Bratt's the best, man.
They deserve nothing after the way they played in the early 2000s. You get nothing anymore. You got your 3 cups. You're done. All right? Get out. Don't be good ever again. You think about what you did. You think about it.
But they're fun now.
God damn it.
They made up for it by building a super fun team.
You had on this league. You created the Islanders, Devils.
They did, yeah, that's true. But they're fun now, so props for correcting it.
Eventually, Miles Wood is going to stop scoring every goal ever for this team.
Okay, so I made fun of Miles Wood in a tweet the other day.
Oh, they scored a goal.
I made fun of Miles Wood the other day in a tweet.
If it was Miles Wood.
I said Miles Wood on the power play. That's a bold move. And ever since then, every shot he's taken just has gone in, I guess. He's good. I don't get it, man.
Who scored?
Hopefully it was Zetterlund. I like that guy.
God damn it.
He's fun. Please be Fabian Zetterlund.
No, it was Siegenthaler.
Oh, that's okay too.
Unassisted goal from Jonas Siegenthaler.
I'm sure they just haven't added the assists yet. ESPN does that.
No, it was unassisted. I'm not on ESPN. I'm on NHL.com, which is even worse.
Matthias Michelli has 2 points.
I choose to live in a world where Jonas Siegenthaler just scored an unassisted goal. Offensive weapon. Sure. Jonas Siegenthaler.
Sure.
Michelli has 2 points to.
Timothy Liljegren scored. That makes me happy.
Good for him. They're going to make. I mean, the Devils are going to make the playoffs because Eric Hall is on their team. So they're going to make the playoffs, lose in the first round, and then it's going to be done. So.
Yeah, that's how Eric Hall. That's the Eric Hall experience.
Yeah,
Travis
Eric
Hamonic
Hall is
scored.
like embodies the Toronto Maple Leafs.
He embodies mediocrity.
He is.
Yeah.
He's just kind of
medium.
a dick.
I didn't know that.
He's a mediocre person too. He's worse than mediocre. Let's be honest. I've heard not good things about how he is as a teammate, which is kind of why he goes to a different team every year.
Maybe. Okay, well, that should be about it. Now that we're talking about Eric Halla, I think we're good, man.
Yeah, we've hit a low point.
All
right, who scored? Lawson Krause and Matthias Michelli. Good for him. Juuso Välimäki. Oh, that's the other guy that doesn't give 110% effort every time. Barrett Hayton.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I want to like Barrett Hayton, but every time I think of him, I just think about that one time that Cale Makar literally threw him. Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've
Okay.
never seen a hand
Wait.
like that before.
They took Siegenthaler's goal off. Ah.
Good. Oh, I didn't even look and see how many goals does Miles have.
I think it's 7.
7?
Yeah.
Come on.
Or 6. It's either 6 or 7. Okay, I
Too
don't want
many.
to talk about Miles
Too
Wood
many.
anymore, man.
You're not talking.
I don't want to talk about
You're
Miles
done
Wood.
talking about. So you're telling me you're done talking about Wood?
That's right. Done.
All right, hold on. Let me look at this really quick. I just want to see the Devils PDO. I know the process is good, but I still want to see it.
I don't think it's that high. I just don't.
I just want PDO. Where is it?
Okay, I'm going to do the outro today. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will be
No
back at you with an episode after
PDO.
the game on
Puto.
Thursday
Puto.
against Nashville. It's going to be a little bit after the game because I'm going
Christ, it
and,
isn't.
the parking lot
It's 26.
at Ball Arena. Everybody who's gone to a game at Ball Arena knows about the Ball Arena traffic on the way home. Getting out of that place is a nightmare because the lights are not timed correctly. So
Oh no, it's
hopefully it won't be
brutal.
too late.
You
Hopefully
gotta
I
go
won't
the
be too late.
back way like I do. I have the expert strat. I go the perfect way every time. That no one will
Where do
ever
you
know
park?
about.
Which lot do you park in?
I park at the parking garage
Oh,
by the Wine Coop restaurant.
oh,
It's the
okay.
perfect place. Trust me.
Okay. Well, I'm in the RAV4 lot.
It's a nice
so
area. Nice short walk. Just
The
go across
RAV4
the
lot
bridge.
is the RAV4 lot's where it's at, man.
Well, clearly not, because it's an absolute shit show to get out of.
Sometimes. It's just the closest lot to the stadium.
Crazy Avs are 6th in PDO despite their shooting percentage being like 3.
It's higher now after Columbus. But okay, thank you everybody for listening. We will be back at you Thursday with another episode post game. And who knows? Maybe we'll sprinkle in some more episodes along this homestand that are not on game days. So stay tuned. And
Yeah,
have
we'll
a good
talk
one.
about less depressing stuff.
Bye-bye now.